Hello, YouTube. This is Let's Talk Horror, and welcome back to another video. Okay, guys, before we get into this video, I just wanted to bring up the idea that I've had. Should I add music to these videos? I'm asking you, the viewer, if I should add just a little bit of background music to these videos. I've been thinking about it, and I want to know what you think, so let me know down in the comments. But now that that's out of the way, let's get to the regular part of the video, which is the Child's Play TV series and the Child's Play franchise. So I wasn't actually planning on making this video, but with recent news that the Child's Play franchise is coming out this fall, I think it warranted a video, so I've decided to make it. Very exciting news for us horror fans, especially fans of these classic 1980s slashers. We're getting a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we're getting Halloween Kills. As far as big franchises go, we're getting Candyman. I know this isn't a 1980s slasher, but we got Wrong Turn. And now we're getting a Chucky TV series. Just a good time for the slasher genre and for us fans. So just really, really exciting. I know I touched on that in my last video. And heck, in early 2022, we're getting the new Scream movie. So just really, really exciting for us fans. But anyway, I wanted to make this video because I think I have a really interesting relationship, if you will, with the Child's Play franchise. Because believe it or not, folks, the Child's Play franchise is something that I consider is what got me into horror, to be honest. I don't think I would be a horror or a slasher fan without the Child's Play franchise. Because when I was a kid, this was the franchise I was first introduced to as far as the big slasher franchises. We had one of those Child's Play box sets, and it didn't have the first one. And as a kid, I didn't understand why it didn't, but now I do. And the first movie I watched was Child's Play 2, obviously, and I loved it. And I consider Child's Play 2 to be the movie that got me into to horror and slashers in general. And you may ask, well, why isn't it still your favorite? Because that's naturally the thing. The first one is usually your favorite, not mine. It was my favorite for a long time, and then I discovered Friday the 13th and Halloween and stuff like that, and I just got more into those franchises and more into the silent killer aspect than, say, Nightmare on Elm Street or Chucky, that, the killers have more personality. Just my personal preference. It's okay. I enjoy those movies, and I can sit down and enjoy the Elm Street franchise, and I can especially sit down and enjoy the Child's Play franchise, but I'm just not into them. I'm just not into Child's Play the way I used to. I don't revisit it as often as I should. I'm a fairly casual Chucky fan, but Child's Play, I still love it. I love it. It's had a big impact on me as a fan. So yeah, it's right up there with Scream as maybe my third favorite horror franchise. I know I've said Scream is my third favorite, but it's probably a tie, to be quite honest, or it's pretty darn close, because Child's Play, I love the franchise. But I think one of the reasons it's kind of fallen off a little bit is just because I don't love where Don Mancini has taken the franchise in some ways. I love Child's Play 1, 1988. I really love Child's Play 2, 1990. I think that's my favorite of the franchise. Child's Play 3, I didn't like it as a kid when I first watched it. To be honest, I've warmed up to it. I actually like it quite a bit now, and that's odd because Don Mancini has even said he doesn't like that movie, but I do. So there you go. So I like the first three, but then we get into Bride, and it's where they really go into the comedic element of things. And I don't hate Bride. Bride is easily probably the most controversial one of the franchise. I don't hate Bride, but I don't like it either. It's never going to be the first one I pop in by any means. Like 90% of other Child's Play fans, I hate Seed of Chucky. I hate it. It's terrible. And then we go back to Curse, and I like Curse. I like Curse a lot. And then we go to Cult. And Cult is maybe the new most controversial one. I have very mixed feelings about Cult. I've seen it 2 or 3 times now. But yeah, your feelings on this movie are going to be dictated by the plot point they introduce at the end of the movie, which is obviously, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Cult but clicked on this video. Chucky can now apparently go into other dolls and other human bodies, I guess. And, I don't like it. At this point, even for, a serial killer going into a doll. It's too convoluted. And now there's a lot I like about Cult, but now it's a bit too convoluted for my taste. One thing that really excites me about the Child's Play TV series is Don Mancini has been very clear, and I think he's even said it in a couple of interviews, that this tone is going to be, you know, the tone of the first couple of movies, and hopefully that's the tone of Child's Play 2. I think Child's Play 2 has the perfect tone. I think with these killers of personality, you have to balance a relatively serious slasher movie with the comedic elements that they possess. And I think that's what fans like. I don't think I'm in the minority there, because it's no wonder that Child's Play 2 is a lot of people's favorite Chucky movie, and it was kind of perfectly balanced, the dark, relatively serious slasher tone, and with a little bit of Chucky comedy in there. And I think that's why people like it. It didn't go too far with the comedy, but it had some of it. And it's the same thing with Nightmare on Elm Street. A lot of people say Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors is their favorite Freddy Krueger film. And I think they say that because, and a lot of people do say it's because they perfectly mesh. It's still a serious Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but they have a little bit of that Freddy comedy. And I don't think it's any wonder why people love these movies so much, especially the ones who love the killers with personality. Yeah, I hope they don't go too far with the comedy. I also hope they don't go too far with the whole body switching thing and that and multiple dolls. I hope it's kept relatively simple, although deep down I know that they're probably gonna incorporate it in some way, which is okay. I get it. I get some people like that new plot element that they've introduced. I don't. But yeah, hopefully they keep it at somewhat of a minimum, keep it relatively simple. And then the other thing that has a lot of people excited is the teaser that came out, which was announcing that it was this fall. You know, they were showing off an animatronic, and Don Mancini has very passionately said, like, the studios have been trying to get me to use CGI Chucky for a long time, and I won't do it. He's very passionate about using the animatronic, and I agree with it. That is one area where I agree. And I just appreciate Don Mancini with this franchise in general. I've been meaning to say this too. Look, I may not like wherever Don Mancini has taken this franchise, every direction he's taken it. You got to give him credit, though. This franchise does not feel as stale in the later sequels as, some of the Halloween sequels do, or some of the Friday the 13th sequels do, or some of the Elm Street sequels do. It's because Don Mancini has never been afraid to take this franchise in a new and bold direction. And look, I may not always like that direction, as I said, but I appreciate it. So that's another thing. I appreciate his passion to stick with the animatronic. I'm really excited that we're sticking with the animatronic, because I think the Child's Play remake, while I liked it, and I know that's controversial among some of you, I like the Child's Play reboot or remake or whatever you want to call it. The CGI, when they used it, did stick out like a sore thumb a little bit. Also, the other day, we learned that Andy Barclay and Kyle are both returning, which was kind of hinted that at the end of Cult. So again, that's very good. I think Don Mancini has hinted that the tone of this TV series is gonna have the tone of Child's Play 2, which, as I've said in this video, I'm a huge fan of. I really hope it has a tone close to Child's Play 2, because I'm such a huge fan of that movie. I still think it's an extremely underrated slasher, and I think it's easily the best Child's Play movie. Devon Sawa is on, and a lot of people are excited about that. I'm excited about that. But yeah, as long as they kind of keep it relatively simple, and I guess don't hit you over the head with the whole body switching thing, and it has the right tone, I think I'm going to really, really enjoy this TV series, and that's what I want to see out of it. And that's going to do it for me, folks. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It feels good to get on here and talk about, the Child's Play franchise. Again, the franchise that I consider got me in to horror, and I think I'm going to rewatch the Child's Play movies here coming up, so I'm really excited about that, and want to thank you guys for tuning in. And if you have any other video ideas, let me know and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Take care, everybody.